Calix Solutions um, logo on this.
Oh yeah, yep.
It's a
Hang on
little
a second.
pixelated.
Yeah, it's
That's all right.
good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
it yeah. Unfortunately, I'm using a laptop that isn't my normal laptop, so I don't have any of the like usual uh, s- uh, graphics of
Oh,
like
I got you. I got you.
Calix, or I'm using a generic laptop right now, which is why uh, I can't really get over to my Calix
So do you feel
email
compromised?
because of security settings I set up, and I basically locked myself out of my Calix email until I get my old laptop back. Security for me is paramount. And so I've literally securitized myself out. Um, but I have corrected that since. So when I can, and I'll get my old laptop back here in a couple days. Once I got that, I can change the setting that I have on my email, and then I can actually match it with several different laptops.
Right. Okay. Okay.
All right. Um, Welcome back, everybody. In mid conversation. All right. The reason um, that uh, we are going to do like a weekly Calix update on YouTube. Now, soon on our platform, you're going to be able to sign up for some really deep information each week. Uh, it's I'll just leave it at that. Um, but this I wanted to get out because this is so uh, mind blowing and so important that you understand this part of what's coming. This this is how much they're trapping people in the matrix. This is why it's so important to get your Calix Liberty laptop. All right, and I have communications out to a guy who knows a ton about waves. Shall we say he's highly connected in wave theory, um, on an invention that I'm coming up with that's simple to make, and Calix is going to offer it once I get it built. It's a very simple piece of hardware, uh, but let me, I Garrett, let me say this. I want every one of you to pull out your phone, and I want you to type in this telephone number: 702 845 8276. Now, do not press send. All right. Do not send a text yet. or do not call yet. After or during this video, somebody just sent a text, didn't they? Smart asses.
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
That's our viewers. They're like, I'll mess with Patrick. As you're watching this, at the point that you go, oh shit, I want you to hit send on your telephone and either call and leave a message or send Patrick a text and say, I want my laptop. The moment during this video that you say, oh shit, all right? This is like a drinking game, except we're going to fuck with Patrick.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, ready? I'm going to play a video real quick. Just so you guys have a general idea of what a smart meter is and why they're switching from watts and amps and kilowatts to another named measurement of voltage. All right, let's watch this real quick.
House. Oh, done. Okay, well, what's the problem? The problem is that in the olden days, you would have, say, 45 amps, right? Well, that's 10,350 watts. But if you look on your subscription, your subscription to the power company, they didn't call it, oh, you're signed up for 10,350 watts. They didn't say you're signed up for 10.35 kilowatts. What they said is you're signed up for 9 kilowatts. Because these little guys here, the main breaker has like a little wheel. The guy comes, and if you get your service bumped up, he takes the cover off and he turns this wheel, and you go from 45 to say 55 amps or something. And then, but they don't call it the actual power because they sort of round the numbers and say, oh, that's a 9 kilowatt service, right? Well, starting about 2 years ago, here in France anyway, what they did is instead of calling your subscription 9 kilowatts, they started calling it 9 kVA. Now, this is extremely important because the old meters didn't have a breaker in them. The smart meters actually duplicate the function of this breaker here. So basically, this smart meter is now programmed for 9 kVA because that's what you had, right? In the past, it was 45 amps. 45 times 230 volts is 10,350. If you exceeded 45 amps, this guy trips, right? If you exceeded 10,350 watts, this guy trips. With the smart meter now, this guy is basically useless, except to just turn the power off to your house. But this 45 amp limit, that doesn't matter anymore because this smart breaker actually has a main breaker, a cutoff built into it. So now this 9 kVA setting is actually programmed into the smart meter. Well, what does that mean? Well, okay, first of all, a little explanation. Okay, kVA versus kilowatts. It's complicated. It's related to power factor. So, simple way of thinking about it is when you use your 1,000 watt motor, the power company on their end, you're connected through your meter, through the whole power grid, way off, tons and tons of power lines, way the heck back to the power company, right? In order for your motor to consume 1,000 watts, the power company has to actually generate 1,111 watts because the power factor of your motor, say, is 0.9, right? So 1111 times 0.9 is 1,000. And the reasons for that get all complicated. I think I described it in another video, which I'll link to down below. But the simple way of thinking about it is that because things are not quite perfect, then when your gizmo is consuming 1,000 watts, the power company actually has to generate more than 1,000 watts, like say 1,100 watts of actual power, and send it over the lines, because there are losses in the lines. There are things like motors and LED light bulbs and switching power supplies that skew the current waveform away from the voltage waveform, and this results in essentially like losses. And so, yeah, so basically the power company has to generate more electricity for you to use a smaller amount. They have to generate, say, 1,100 watts so that your gizmo can use 1,000 watts of real power. That's as simple as I can make it. Okay, so that real power is kilowatts, and this apparent power, this extra power that the power company has to generate to send you the amount that you're consuming is generally written in kVA. That's kind of abbreviated, but just roll with it. So practically, that means two different things. First of all, before, your breaker down here was tripping at 45 amps, which was 10,350 watts, right? Now your smart meter, which they called this 9 kilowatts, then they changed the name to 9 kVA, and now your smart meter is programmed with the value 9 kVA. And if you press the button on here, you can cycle through and you can see maximum, subscription is 9 kVA, right? Then it'll say like cutoff level is 9 kVA. Well, if you assume a power factor of exactly 1, 9 kVA is basically 9,000 watts. So let's do a calculation. 9,000 divided by 230 equals, only 39.1 amps. Let's just say 39 and make it simpler. So what that means is that your main breaker here at 45 amps, he's never going to trip anymore, because this guy is going to trip at 9 kVA, which is actually only 39 amps, assuming that the power factor is 1. And that's why all these people are complaining, because basically in the past, they had the same hookup, but because of the sort of the kind of imperfections in these main breakers, and because there was no smart meter, it would cut off at 45 amps. Now they got these smart meters, and they say, oh no, it's kVA, and blah, blah. So essentially what you have is effectively you have a much lower amount of current that you can pull, which means, of course, everyone's breakers are tripping all the time. Their smart meter is cutting their juice off all the time, and they're having to call and say, what the hell, what are you going to do? And of course, they're told by the power company, oh, well, you just need to upgrade your subscription, and instead of 79 euros a month, you need to pay us 114 euros a month, and we'll fix it for you. Yeah, I have to say that in France's case, there is no wireless. It's basically using, they call it CPL. I can't remember the name in English. It's basically like Ethernet over power lines.
All right. Damn it. All right. Let me say that again. The reason I stopped it was from here out, he basically approaches it from an engineering, but you heard him say Ethernet over power lines. All right. That's the key here. And let me explain why they changed it. All right. When they created the frequency term kVA, what that did was, number one, all right, they wanted it to look like KW, all right? so that your brain glances over it and doesn't apply significance to the change. So the average lazy electrician that doesn't deal in low voltage and high voltage, because most electricians are either high voltage or low voltage specialists. They may know a little about the other, but they don't deal in it on a regular basis.
This commentary is coming from a carpenter.
Right. But a carpenter who understands.
Oh yeah. I'm not suggesting anything otherwise.
Hey, Jesus was a carpenter.
Yeah, he was.
We know everything. We can heal the blind with a little bit of dirt.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No,
don't. Hey. You better have a lightning rod over your head.
Well, I can't. Jesus could.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure we weren't conflating.
Oh, no.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
I'm not worthy to wash his feet.
No, I agree.
None
of us
so,
are.
That's all right. So basically, what they did was they bring out this new measurement called KVA. All right. And KVA, like he said, it drops you from 45 to 39 amps. If you're not knowledgeable on how electricity works, you may want to watch a few YouTubes on what the difference between amps, watts, and kilowatts and stuff like that is. But basically, all right, electricity is waves. All right, frequency. At a certain frequency, it's power, electricity. At another frequency, it's light. At another frequency, it's sound. At another frequency, it's actually material, like plastic. All right, everything is frequency. It's just the measurement of frequency. So basically, when he says Ethernet over power lines, it's the ability, because in the old days we had analog. Then we went to digital. Then we went to fiber optics. Fiber optics is light. All right. Well, they're learning now that. Hey, how are you, brother? Paul should be here at about noon.
About noon?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. They hired me to do some services out here. I was just making sure I'm okay parking right there.
Yep, you're good.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right, where was I, Patrick?
You're live. They're just learning how to. We were talking about it being light.
Oh, yeah. So we went to fiber optics. Now they're switching from fiber optics to direct energy information transportation. Right? That's where the information rides the same wire as your power supply.
How do you modulate that? And allow the separation
That's what
pulls
the
that.
smart meter is. It separates it at, because it has two receivers in it. It has your regular electric receiver, which is your breaker and your meter. All right, that's your electric system. Now, there's a split at that, right? Right before the electric hits your meter part, there's a split right there with the receiver that receives the information part and then runs it through it and a regulator and an amplifier and goes around the meter onto your breaker, right? On to the other side of your breaker so that the information part isn't corrupted with the power knocking down at the breaker, right? Because you have a little transformer in there that, and your transformer is basically your breaker, right? And regulator. So it goes around your regulator and your breaker, then is stabilized and amplified on the other side and into your house. Right? So now that they're doing that, that's why everything is switching to this type of connector. This is called a USB 3.1.
Who's directing this?
The National Energy
Not the Department of Energy.
yes, the Department of Energy is regular. This is part of the Great Reset.
Yeah.
All right. This is why President Obama outlawed the old light bulbs, because the old light bulbs sending the information on the old light bulbs would make them flicker, because the old light bulbs were just a piece of wire, and the light that came off of it was the direct light from the amount of energy and frequency that the light bulb and the wire was set for. So any alterations in frequency on that line would cause a flicker, because you're using the line for not just pure energy, which is set at your breaker. It's also using 6 amps of that for information, because an amp is like resistance. All right, it's that's a whole nother topic we don't have to get into, but that 6 amps less than normal allows for the regulator to have 6 amps, i.e., what is that, like 0.45 kilowatts or something like that. But
220,
allows,
220, 221, whatever.
yeah, allows that much room on the line for information. And the new light bulbs, they work completely different. They don't fluctuate off of the direct voltage to them as sensitive as the old wire ones did. They may flicker a little, but not enough where you would notice. Has anybody with these new light bulbs, have you noticed they don't really go out, they'll flicker? They'll kind of flicker and you'll be like, what the hell is going on? What son of a bitch? That's because they're bringing in this system, and they can't switch us all at once because they'd have to shut the power off, then retool the electric company's wiring and all that, then kick it back on. That's why you're seeing all of these places running underground wire. They say it's, more reliable and all that bullshit. No. They're running it and slowly switching all of these houses and communities over. So that as the Great Reset happens, there's less and less interference, and they're branching. You know how now you can actually go on an app and it will show you like where power outages are at, like down to the house. Well, that's this new electric system. In the old days, the power company just generated a bunch of power where they could power the lines up to the highest level needed in the community, and then you would regulate the power off of that high-powered line. So you would reduce it off of your high-powered lines. Well, now they're switching that. They're getting rid of the substations and replacing them with neighborhood substations. And the neighborhood substations run what are called KVA nodes. Now, for your information, these KVA nodes run on a blockchain type system. All right, it's the algorithm is actually SHA-3 333, I think. It, once again, irrelevant but interesting. Irrelevant to this conversation, but interesting. All right. So as it reaches your house, they now can track your energy usage and communicate on smart grids. Remember, this is a blockchain structured hardware system now. So your smart meter is now your house's node. And what it does is it tracks and records the information into the blockchain of the electrical system. This, my friends, and I could go more in. I have been up for the last 2 days researching this. And you want to talk about deer in the headlights. And I'll actually get out the file and I'll show you some of the electrical plans that I had a buddy working at a neighborhood send me. Because he's putting in the electrical for this huge neighborhood up in it's, I don't remember, I think it's in Jacksonville, but it doesn't matter. And as I researched it all made sense. And I'm like, oh shit. Because now, remember, all of your security cameras, all of that, they can now tune into the frequency of your security cameras in your house without you knowing about it, because it's all going through the power lines. Anything that says smart is bad. Right? And they are not, a lot of these projects don't even say smart on them, because they're learning that people are catching on, and they're like, all right, let's not call it smart anything. Let's just normalize it. Bingo. Your smart TV has a camera. Every single one of them. And it isn't on the outside, it's behind the screen. It is a 1 pixel size camera where you would never recognize it watching the show. You'd never see that 1 pixel area not being used as a pixel. This is how they are going to blockchain everything, and not in the good way. This is not decentralized blockchain. This is your refrigerator communicating with Hitler. This is your shower communicating with Hitler. Where they don't even have to send you to the camp. They can make your house the camp. My friends, it's why they're trying to get rid of natural gas. Because if you got natural gas, you can hook up a generator.
They don't got you then.
Bingo. Now, mind you, this is going to take, they're advanced, but this is going to take 4 to 5 years to fully implement. And this is why I tell you guys, you've got to get a Liberty laptop now. All right? Because as we move forward, Patrick and I are going to be working on trying to get ahead of all this shit. And if you're a member of our website and you have purchased a laptop, a lot of this we may be able to send out to you with just a video and go, okay, upgrade this or change this setting. Because this is a fluid. Like, you're not buying a laptop and then us waving goodbye. This is you actually buying a laptop. And as me and Patrick and Austin and our whole team work their ass off, as we move forward, we will be sending out information. If you ever on our website, if you ever get a notification on your dashboard of an alert video with exclamation points from Patrick, you better watch that sumbitch and watch it now, because Patrick is not an explanation point type of person.
No, you should only be allotted 3 exclamation points in the course of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
You get your sleep.
Those of you who know Patrick, he is not he avoids hype like the plague. Hype equals drama for Patrick. Patrick breaks out in ass whoopings when drama comes into his life. He starts passing out smacks. Right? So that's why I'm telling you guys. And no one else in the laptop industry is going to tell you all this. You hear anybody else is Microsoft telling you this? Is any other laptop manufacturer telling you this? No. Why not? Because I'm telling you now, folks, don't be surprised when Calix Solution literally comes out with its own laptop, and it's called the A1, the Austin 1.
He's shaking his head.
Where we have sent Austin out to learn how to build laptops. And we're producing our, hey, don't laugh. I'll buy a 3D printer and we'll print these son of a bitches in-house. That's how bad it's getting, folks. Now, if you've watched this and you haven't said, oh shit, yet, you're not paying attention. Press that green button or press the send button to Patrick and get on the list to get a laptop. This is no longer, oh, Ben and Patrick launched this cute little company. This is us against them, folks.
I'm somewhat concerned that the whistleblowing members of the House of Representatives on the Republican side haven't stood up and said anything about this yet.
Right? Why not?
Yeah, it's bothersome.
And it's the progressive movement.
Yeah,
It's this. What? All right, and I'm going to mention it. Why did number 17? Why did he start his conversation on 8chan? Do you know what 8chan was and what 4chan is? The only people that go to 8chan and 4chan are techies, and I mean deep techies. Number 17 went to 8chan because they understood the people that are going to need to understand what's going on are going to have to know how to go around the matrix. So they had to send out information to those people. And when number 17 jumped off of 8chan and went over to 4chan and got more exposure, that's when they started to get worried because they're like, oh shit. You know, I mean, look at the guy who ran 8chan and 4chan. That guy has never had a date. All right. That's why he held that's why Fox News settled. Because they've got all the evidence. It's just explaining it to the general public is like explaining the universe to a cockroach. That's why, remember when God, what's the guy who ran 4chan and 8chan? What it did, like something monkey?
oh yeah.
I can't remember. We remember when they held that weekend long, you know, hey, let us explain what happened with fucking Dominion and all that. Exactly, Code Monkey. All right. We remember that whole weekend and Trump was pushing it and the My Hello guy was pushing it. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to explain to the technical guys so that the technical guys could validate what they were saying and going, look what they're building. And that's what they were talking about, the voting machines. Right. The voting, what Dominion said is that the voting machines cannot connect through Wi-Fi. And the Trump were like, no, they can connect to the internet. People think Wi-Fi and the internet are the same things. The Dominion voting systems ran through this technology.
Well, they showed manipulation during the course of one of the states, and I can't remember if it was Pennsylvania or Arizona.
I think it was Arizona.
Yeah, I had a hearing going on, and some IT professor showed exactly how it took place.
Yeah.
And it was comparable to when Morton Thiokol was being interviewed about the O-rings on the Challenger. And there was a professor on the stage who took the O-ring and took a C-clamp and turned the O-ring into a figure 8 and clamped it and set it into a glass of ice water during the course of the conversations. And he's going back and forth with this guy who's working for Morton Thiokol, talking about the O-rings and their flexibility and the viscosity in there and everything else, and how it would be able to operate in sub-zero or sub-freezing weather. And he finished his conversation, and the professor who was on the panel reached in, pulled it out, removed the C-clamp, and that thing remained in a figure 8 and went, "I rest my case."
Yep.
It can't function properly in a sub-freezing scenario. And that Morton Thiokol was blown out of the water. Why? The only reason that this didn't take off with that explanation and that exhibition of the potential for violation of the Dominion system is because the mainstream media is in fucking bed with these assholes.
Yes. And they won't talk about this new way of transferring information through the power lines. And that's why the Republicans won't touch it either, because they're bought and paid for it too.
Yeah. There was one of the original voting systems that was put into place, and the Diebold was the name of the company. They started out as being manufacturer and servicing safes, bank safes. And they came out with one of the first voting programs and machines. And during the course of these things going through their dog and pony show, and IT got a hold of one, and IT got a hold of one and got inside of it and found an executable file. And his question was, why is this?
If you just want to pull it up, it's fine.
Why is this program containing an executable file when all it should be doing is collecting data in a database of votes and for the appropriate individuals? And they had no real answer for it. And it should not have had an executable file. The only reason for that is manipulation of the data.
Yep.
Same thing here.
Yep. It's if people under, this is why everyone watching this, I want you to share this video with your friends. Put it all over. Anybody watches this video right here and at the end of it doesn't understand it, I got nothing for you.
I got a jar of red pill or blue pills for you.
Yeah. If you watch this video and you go, I don't believe it, you are choosing to go along with this. And I want to thank you.
What's that? Yes, thank
Yep.
you, sir. Appreciate it.
You are choosing to go along with this. This is how much they are trapping people in the system. And these laptops, these are not just laptops, folks. These are, oh shit, we're in trouble. Lifeboats. These are technological lifeboats. And yes, oh, here we go. Everyone email your representatives this video. Have them watch it. And if they need a deeper explanation, have them reach out to an ex-truck driver carpenter. And I'll gladly explain it deeper. But I don't know what else to say, Patrick. It's hearing this information, learn, and it shows you the absolute trap they've set us into. And the only way that we fight back is with our own hardware. Like they've got their voting machines. They have all the other laptop manufacturers out there on board with this shit. What's the one company trying to keep you guys able to communicate freely? Calix Solutions. Patrick, what does Calix mean?
Calix is Latin for chalice. Chalice.
My friends, Patrick and I think I think we've always known that we're here for a reason. We're here to put up a fight. And you have two people in Patrick and me. We're willing to go down swinging. And that's a fact. So I'm gonna let Patrick actually talk, because I need to use the restroom real quick.
You beat me.
Oh. All right. If you need to tinkle first, you go tinkle.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Hit it. The laptops, I know Ben has talked about what's available and what we have in the pipe. We do have inventory. We are feeling the bite, but we do have it available. We want to let you know, those of you who have the Liberty laptops, to go out to the portal. The portal has 9 videos in there now. We have a greater explanation of what takes place on the deep web, as well as how to configure your laptop's browser for that particular venture, which is the Tor browser. We also have a video in there about how to use it, how to get out there and get your feet wet. We're working on a video with respect to performing research, but it's like anything else. I mean, you get out there and you use it, you're going to be fine. I know some folks have a little bit of a oh heck, what am I getting myself into here kind of approach. But it's, as long as you're not doing anything illicit, you're not trying to find somebody with life-ending skills in order to put an end to a bad relationship, you're not going to raise the attention of the federal authorities, who are out there, by the way. They are out on the deep web. But if you're not doing anything bad, they're not gonna mess with you. But there's 9 videos out there with respect to Liberty laptops and how to take advantage of that particular item. Crypto laptops have gotten more videos out there too. So, and we have some more services that are coming from the crypto laptop side with respect to being able to get more information in terms of security and alerts. And then there's going to be a helpline that's available. And then a service that's going to be more of a in the know, ask me anything, which is an all-encompassing level of service where you can, if you've acquired that, if you've purchased that subscription, you'll be able to get all of the above, which is access to the cyber alerts and security issues, as well as the helpline, and then the weekly Ask Me Anything, and a bunch of walkthroughs relative to the crypto world. So that's going to be coming soon. Again, Liberty laptop users, please go to the portal. Any of the older folks, older customers, in terms of having gotten the computers back in 21, if you have an issue getting onto the portal, give me a shout. We'll make sure you can get in there. When we made the conversion from our original system into the e-commerce, some of those folks were not included in the intake and identified within the database for access to the portal. It takes a matter of moments. We can either call me up or shoot me an email, and we'll make sure that's taken care of. So, all right. You feel better now?
I do. Now, if you need to go, go ahead. No.
I'm all right. I'm an old man, but I'm okay.
All right. We're actually going to wrap this up. Please, guys, share this video with as many people as you possibly can. Because unless the average Joe and Jane understand this this is what global warming's about. This is what, getting rid of petroleum is about. This is why they're pushing it so hard, because they know that now they have a strong opposition to this. That unless they take everything digital and run it through the governments and the power regulations, that they lose their control. If you have an escape, if you have natural gas, if everyone's driving an electric car, then they can communicate with your car while it's plugged in to your house. You know how many cameras are on a Tesla? You know how many outside microphones are on a Tesla? They call it, self-driving technology. Well, is it only accessible while the owner is driving it or in it? Oh, no. The cameras are accessible. The microphones are accessible. And the new Fords and Chevys, electric vehicles. Now, Tesla is actually not going to put these on their cars because Elon knows what they're used for. The new Fords and Chevys will have supersonic cameras on the outside where they'll be able to see through walls. They're going to say, well, it's so if you're at a corner, your car can see another approaching car through the walls of the building that's blocking the view. Look it up. I'm not making this shit up, folks. And anybody who's been in the military or any type of police or anything, they've got the technology to see through walls. They use like some type of energy pulse, heat signatures, shit like that. But those are on the outside of all the new Fords and Chevys and BMWs. But Tesla's the only company that they were going to put them on until about 3 years ago. Actually, closer to 4 years ago, when Elon was approached. And I mean that word literally. Elon was approached. Remember a while back, here's a little hint for you guys. I did a video, and it was from 2001 or 2002. And it had an interview with a guy. He was one of the whistleblowers at the NSA. And during the interview, he had a Le Pen on his suit. Remember what it was? It was the letter Q. It's the only interview that he ever did. And it was him in a suit. And all it was a Q. That guy is close friends with Elon Musk. That guy works at Tesla now. I'm trying to remember his name. I want to say it was something. Was it William or was it Bill? He's a bald guy. Him and a group of NSA whistleblowers. Type in Bill NSA whistleblower, and his name should pop up. And I'm trying to remember what the hell his name was. I can't. I'll find it and I'll mention it on a show again. All right. This is all connected. All right. Hang on a second. NSA
Bill Binney.
Yes, that's him.
Just came to the top of my head.
Yep.
No,
Right.
Robert posted it.
Oh, okay. Look up an interview he did, and you'll see he has a lapel on, and it's just the letter Q. That's how long they'd been planning this. Number 17. That's why he wore the lapel in that interview. I'm telling you, folks, why do you think Elon Musk all of a sudden was like, you know what, I think I'll buy Twitter? You don't think Elon Musk has better things to do? You don't think his plate isn't already pretty damn full? Now, ask yourself, why is Elon Musk working so hard on a space program? My friends, the information that's going to come out over the next 10 years is going to blow people's minds on this. Because it's biblical. This is up, and I'll say this now, and people will go back in time and watch this video and go, how the hell did that truck driver know what the hell was coming? This goes all the way back to the ark, to the flood. That's how far back this goes. Because, heads up, my friends, we do a Google search of of a few years ago, the magnetic fields of Earth flipped.
The convoy.
Now, you ask me, why does that matter? Why does the magnetic field flipping matter? Because if you know about perpetual motion, you understand that the flipping of the magnetic field is a precursor to the Earth rotation flipping. Now, this is gonna start some shit. Me even just saying this. Because when the magnetic field flips, it slowly slows the Earth down. Why do you think this year they're like, you know what? We're going to not have a time change anymore. We're just going to keep daylight savings time. Because it's the Earth's rotation is slowing down.
You guys got any grass out back?
Nothing to worry about.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Federal lawmakers are trying to tame cryptocurrency.
My friends, the earth is a growing, living entity. It generates its own power using magnetics and frequency and pressure. And when the magnetic spheres flip, and it's cyclical. It happens because the sun in our universe enters into what they call the age of Aquarius. And that's the flipping. That's also why they call it the Great Reset. But that's the Earth reset. See, people think that the Earth, that the dinosaurs were killed by a big old ball of something falling out of the fucking sky. No. The Earth changes rotation. And it takes approximately 40 days for the settlement. Ironically. My friends, what the general public is going to learn is that the elite are trying to create. Why is it that America, Russia, China, everyone's still involved in the space station? Well, we hate everything Russia, but we're still going to fuck with them with the space station. What is the space station? It's a lifeboat for the fucking elite. Because they just have to get off the earth long enough for the reset and then repopulate it. Now, as I've said all this, does it ring true? Does it ring true to you? Or do you think I've absolutely lost my fucking mind? Does everything line up now? My friends, what most people think is just an election is a direction. We either save a bunch of us or they save a few of us just to restart. It is, and please don't take my word for it. Pray on it. Give it a good, honest praying and see what you get back. Why did I open the club? Why did me and Patrick launch Calix Solutions? Why have I and others put so much energy into this. My friends, yep, let's wrap this up. All right. It's part of this is a battle. You need the weapons. The weapon is the Liberty laptop, and it will evolve. And Patrick and I and Calix Solutions are going to try and lead the technological hardware that people are going to need, because no one else is going to provide it, folks. All right. I love you guys. Call Patrick and get the damn laptop. Text Patrick, get the damn laptop.
I already got one. Oh crap! Somebody
Yeah,
already-
exactly. Everybody, I love you guys. Patrick.
All right.
Love you, brother.
Love you. Be good.
Yep. All right, bye-bye, guys.
Bye.